think we are officially on.
Yes.
You guys ready to ask some questions? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, everybody.
So Rhiannon, what kind of questions have people been asking us this week? It's been a crazy real estate week.
Well, we have had people that want to hear more funny stories. So we're going to have to sprinkle some of those in there.
Okay, we will do our best to tell our funny stories.
But as far as more informative questions, someone wants to know if sellers and buyers ever meet or talk to each other.
That's a good question. It sometimes yes, usually yes is the answer. And if everybody's not getting along, not necessarily. That's my short answer. But we find most of our clients get along with the other side of the table, and there's lots of phone number exchanging, and here's how you operate the thing in the kitchen, and here's how you do the thing in the sprinkler system, and here's my lawn guy, he's awesome. There's lots of that happens at the closing table. Prior to that, there's not a whole lot of interaction between the buyers and the sellers. Wouldn't you say, Shane?
Yes, generally it's just the closing table. There's some exceptions here or there. Yeah, but
what you don't want is in the middle of negotiations.
Definitely not.
To see each other and either get some sort of sympathy response or some sort of annoyance response, because there's no reason to influence your negotiations for any kind of emotional reason, attachment or detachment or anything. So
right. Yeah, after the negotiation period, there could be a time if a buyer needs to come, maybe take some measurements or see something, or actually it happens when there's an inspection. Maybe the seller hasn't left yet and the buyer has shown up, and
sure, absolutely. If everybody's getting along at that point, it's usually fine.
Yeah.
Everybody usually works pretty well together. There's a lot of communication, especially between our team and both sides, and just getting everybody on both sides what they need. Everybody seems to be working well to help each other. So that's usually the norm for us.
Agreed.
Someone also asked if sellers see the names of the buyers on offers because they're worried about discriminatory practices.
So yeah, I've heard of that in Facebook, with people talking about that actually. I think we don't purposely remove a name. Generally, when an offer is presented to a seller, they see the whole offer and they see the signatures. If it's a multiple offer situation, I think sometimes we'll do a spreadsheet with all the details laid out, and then they don't necessarily see the names of the buyers. But I can't say of a time where we've ever had a situation where a seller said, "Ooh, they sound whatever, I'm not interested, or I don't like their names, or I've had connotations with those names." I don't.
At least that they've shared with us.
That they've shared with us, yeah.
Sure. I absolutely know that sellers Google the buyers' names.
Sometimes
they look them up on Facebook.
Buyers do the same too. Yeah, buyers do the same too.
So, I actually once had sellers Google a buyer's name, and they found their Facebook profile, and they had just posted, "We found the perfect house. We're making an offer." So that kind of gave us confidence in our negotiating. So discriminatory, absolutely not. I've never seen it.
I've never seen it.
No. But curiosity and nosiness, yes.
Yes. Right. I mean, wouldn't you say your sellers generally accept literally the best offer?
Best offer. It doesn't matter who the buyer is.
Doesn't matter who the buyer is.
I've had sellers be like, "Oh, I know that seller. We used to work together." Buyer, thank you. Yeah. So situations like that happen, but nothing. I've never seen it in 15 years. I've never seen anybody act discriminatory towards the buyer.
Yep.
All right. Oh gosh. Someone asked, can I have hidden cameras watching buyers looking at my house?
Yes, you can, but we
you
have to
can.
disclose that there are cameras in the house. And I tell every buyer that there likely are cameras. So when we're shopping for property, we don't want to say anything that could potentially be recorded because we're not sure
Right.
who's listening.
Correct. Yes.
All right. How about, can you help me find a real estate agent in another state?
Good question.
Definitely.
Shane, you did that a couple of times last year.
Definitely. Yes, definitely. Keller Williams is the largest brokerage in the world. We have more agents than any other real estate company. So we have contacts pretty much everywhere. So if I don't personally know an agent, say in Hartford, Connecticut, I can reach out to other Keller Williams agents and find one. It might not even be a Keller Williams agent, but maybe a Keller Williams agent there knows a Coldwell Banker agent there. But generally, we can ask around and find a really good referral.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do a lot of education all around the country before COVID kind of locked down our travel and our ability to do conventions and things like that. So I've networked with a lot of agents around the US. And so I actually do know some good, and Shane has met several too, good agents all around the country. And if I don't know somebody in the specific area, I'll find somebody that's close by and see if they know somebody in the specific, you know, kind of do, or we'll call the broker and say, well, I need somebody who is patient for a first-time buyer, maybe somebody who's really good with technology or somebody who's really good with older folks, and kind of match based on what we think the client's needs are.
Yep. Yeah, my best friend moved from California to Maryland last year, and I helped her find an awesome agent in Maryland that she was super happy with.
That was awesome.
That was great. That was great. Good to be able to help like that. Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see. When does the spring market start?
A month ago.
January.
It's different every year. Certainly. I think we always advise to get your house on February if you want to be in the spring market and take the best advantage of the spring market. A lot of people want to move over the summer for school year. That's kind of out the window this last year or two. People are moving all year round, but we've certainly seen a lot of activity in the last few weeks here in Atlanta.
Yep.
Somebody else asked, when is the best time to list my house?
Now.
I was going to say there's the best time. It's whatever the best time for you, you know, depending on what you need to list your house. I wouldn't say I'm not going to list it now because of XYZ. If this is the time that works, even if it is November.
That's the best answer, Shane.
Hmm?
That's the best answer.
Yeah, it's whatever works for you. There is no best time.
Yeah, people try to time the market, and first of all, it's impossible. We're going to help you make the most money for the market of that exactly when you need to move. But moving is personal, and it's because of things like work and school and your own personal finances. And you don't want to wait or rush trying to time the market because we don't know what is going to happen every year. So let's just optimize it for when you need to sell.
Yeah. I actually have a client where a buyer, the seller listed their house on New Year's Eve, December 31st, 2020, which is an interesting day to list your house. And we went to see it. And so literally we were negotiating on New Year's Eve, and the seller's agent said, what are we doing? Why are we negotiating on New Year's Eve? I'm like, you listed the house on New Year's Eve. You didn't wait till January 1st, January 2nd, what, December 27th? I don't know, but so we negotiated on New Year's Eve and got them under contract, but that was the day that worked for the sellers, I guess, was December 31st.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. How about a fun story? Has anything happened recently, or a fun real estate story that you haven't shared yet?
I always have fun stories. Every time.
You do. Yeah, you really do.
Fun story, Shane.
I had a fun story this week. actually it was not this weekend, it was last weekend. I was showing some properties in a community near here, golf course community. And it was a contemporary style house. And I love contemporaries. I think they're really neat. I love the styles, the windows. You never know what you're going to find. But this was the strangest contemporary. You walk in the front door into the master.
What?
Yes, I didn't tell you this. So sort of a hallway, not really, but there's just space and a closet, and you walk literally into the master bedroom. It's right in front of you as you come in the front door. You literally walk into the master. And we were like, is this the master? It is the master. And then you go through the master into the master bathroom, and there's a toilet sitting by the back door. Literally the toilet next to the door. So you can sit on the toilet and look into your yard and wave. It literally goes right, you have to pass the toilet and go through the door to get to the swimming pool. So all your guests are going to be out there by the pool, and if you're sitting on the toilet, you better have a curtain on that screen door, like literally glass door with a screen to this toilet.
That is super weird.
I should have taken pictures. I keep thinking I should go back because it's so strange. And then I was looking at it, and I looked over, they had double vanities. They had another toilet on the other side of the vanities. So there's no doors anywhere, but there's two toilets in this open room. One in a corner and one out by the door.
Who built for open toilets? Okay.
His and her toilets in this room, but no doors or private rooms, or it was the strangest thing. My clients were like, let's go. Like, we didn't even make it past the master and the master bath because it was so bizarre. So
Yeah, is that couple like really, really close the way that they set up that bathroom?
But they were like 20, they weren't even there. It wasn't like the his and her toilets on Saturday Night Live, you know, they were separated.
No. Carrie, have you had any funny stories lately?
No toilets out in the open, certainly. Dane always has the interesting bathroom experiences.
This see crazy bathroom stuff all the time.
It's been pretty normal this week.
That was interesting. I think the crazy thing that's going on is just in general, the market is so hot. And now you can only make showings in 15-minute increments. Usually I make them for an hour so we can take our time. Now you're lucky if you can get in there for 15 minutes. And when we arrive, there's a bunch of cars waiting. There's a bunch of cars pulling up after. And because of COVID, you really can't be overlapping. So it's really interesting and it scares buyers when they pull up and there's all these other cars and people seem really anxious. And last week I mentioned this, we were exiting a property and some people were waiting outside and I was like, oh, we're finished if you guys are waiting to go in. And they're like, oh no, we've already been in. We already made our offer yesterday. We're just back to see it again. Oh, okay. And I got 10 offers that day.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, there's definitely a huge shortage of inventory. But that long line of cars shouldn't scare buyers because we can manage it.
We can do it. Yeah.
We can have really good offers. You're not going to get a house for under list price right now.
Right.
Not the house you want.
Right. Unless it needs, you can if it needs work. If it's a fixer upper or there's something majorly wrong location wise or So when I showed
clients find those location bad houses though. On power lines or on a busy road or
I mean, those are selling. It depends. I mean, I showed a house yesterday and I was curious why we were able to get an hour-long appointments because in the pictures it looked fantastic. It had everything my client wanted. And when we got there, we immediately could see why it didn't have other appointments and had reduced their sales price. It was just, there was water damage everywhere. I mean, it was in really bad shape, which you couldn't see in the pictures. It looked great in the photo, but in person. And so it'll sell. It'll just take a little longer. It'll take Candy and, wants to be in that really nice neighborhood and is willing to put the work into it. My client wasn't. So
yeah. Remind me, Susan's looking for an ugly house to buy. We should maybe send that one to her.
Okay. It's almost 400,000 though. So it's a little pricier.
Yeah, we'll see.
Up and coming.
Yeah, yeah. Well, shall we let Shane go and do vet 911 in the front yard? We
I'm
had
afraid.
a cat tragedy.
Cat just got hit by a car in my front yard. My
Mm.
are dealing with it. I can't see right now if fast or what's going on.
Well, go see if you can help.
Okay.
Shane, our pet lover, Angels Among Us.
Yes.
Yes, I can help you find a house or a companion.
Or a companion. I actually had a lady say she'd buy a house last week if I had a tall, dark, and handsome handyman that came with it.
Nice.
So yeah, matchmaking, pet adoptions, home buying, we got you covered.
I have like little and furry. If they want little and furry, I have that tall and handsome.
Well, that does us for today, ladies and gentlemen. Little and furry or tall and handsome. Everybody have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Same time, same place.